As we know, React with JavaScript here, we have created many projects of React with JavaScript only. But today in this video, we are going to create a project with React but using TypeScript. TypeScript is a superscript of JavaScript. You can say that it is a TypeScript. It is just a simple JavaScript but with types here. It will help you to manage all the errors very easily. So we will use today this TypeScript with the React here. So there is little difference here, just we have to mention the types. So every state we are creating or we are getting data as a prop, so we have to create we have to mention the types, and for the props we have to create the interface here, and even for every event listener we have to mention the type there. And this the .jsx or JS extension will turn into .ts and tsx extension. So how we can get started with create React app? So there is only one difference. So first of all, in the previous simple JavaScript React app, we was creating like this: npx create React app and app name. But to mention the TypeScript, we have to mention a template here. So we will use this syntax and we will use template as TypeScript. So this will create a React app with the TypeScript here. So now before starting, first of all, let's see the overview what we are going to make here. Hello friends, this is Ramesh Sharma here. Welcome to the new tutorial of Fullyworld web tutorials. So today in this tutorial we are going to create a to-do app, and that to-do app is just a simple to-do app but with the help of React and by using the TypeScript. We will use TypeScript here as it is looking very simple, but code will be different here as we are using TypeScript here. So here these two are added previously here by default statically. So here when I will click on add, if nothing is there, it will say that please add to do here. So when I will adding to do here, so I'm going doing tutorial, press enter here, to do added successfully, and it is coming here. Now since these two to-dos are not completed yet, so that's why delete option is not working here, and even hovering effect is only working on those to-dos are not completed here. So now when I will click on this doing tutorial and it will alert nice job, then it will return the delete option. Now we can delete this to-do very well. To-do deleted successfully, again and again like this. And we can add more to do like React TypeScript. Now this to do is added successfully. So only this thing we are going to create here, but with the help of React and TypeScript. So stay tuned here and watch the video full to know about introduction of TypeScript with React, how we can use TypeScript with the React here. Now without wasting any time, let's get into it. I have already opened a folder here, and that folder name is project here, and my app name also will be the project here. So that's why I'm going to create the React app under this folder only. So when I will type directory here, see that this folder is completely empty. Now we will use this command here to add the React app, to create the React app but with the TypeScript as a template here. So I'm going to copy this. I will leave this link in the video description and the command in the video description, so you can copy that command from there. Now let's press enter. So first of all, it will install npx for us, and I have all installed yarn here, so that's why by default it will be using yarn. So if you don't want to use yarn here, so after the template must specify -- use -npm here. So it will install the app for us. I will be right back after creating the app. Now we have successfully created the app. So I am opening this app in the text editor, so that I'm using VS Code here. So let's open it. Now this is my app here. So actually I don't want to name this my app. So let me close it and let's go to my app here, and then let's open this in the editor. Now this app is successfully opened here. So first of all, let's clean our app. So that things we don't want. So as we don't want this logo here, so I'm going to remove this logo, delete it, and then we don't want this setup test here. These three things we don't want, so I'm going to delete these three also. So I'm going to delete as well as, and now let's go to the index.tsx. so see that here tsx is here, so it is just like a jsx, so here we can use jsx also. So here first of all I am removing these, so actually these are taking time for deleting, and I am removing this also. And now our index.tsx is cleaned here. So let's go to app here. So here it will be the functional component. As we are not going to receive any props, so here I'm not going to do anything here. So here we don't want logo here, and then let's remove this all, and I'm just going to write h1 here, welcome to React Todo app. Save it, and now let's go to app.css and let's clean this app.css here. So I'm going to clean this now. Select all and delete this, select all and delete this, and save this. And now let's go to public here. So here I'm going to remove this public whole folder. So removing this, and here we are going to create one new public folder, and here will be the index.html file, and first will be the default snippet of HTML, and here I'm going to write React TypeScript Todo app, and here we need division with root here. Now let's save it successfully. Now we are going to run our app here. So as I'm using yarn, so I will simply write yarn start. So this will start the app for us. Now see that our app is successfully installed here, successfully compiled here, and see that we are getting welcome to React Todo app. Now there is a time we will install one dependency, that is Bootstrap. So we don't want to add the CSS here, so that's why I'm installing the Bootstrap here. We will be using Bootstrap now. So I'm going to use yarn add bootstrap and press enter here. So this will install the Bootstrap for us. Let's wait for its installation. So it is linking the dependencies here. So till it is linking the dependencies, here I am going to write import bootstrap slash dist slash css, and then slash, there will be the bootstrap dot min dot css here. So I will not save it because here it Bootstrap is not installed yet. Now our Bootstrap is successfully installed here, and I'm going to delete this terminal and simply save this. Now we can get the change here. So it is compiling. It will take little time for the compilation. Let's wait for a while. Now it is compiled successfully, and let's reload this, and we will be getting our CSS here, and that CSS is provided by the Bootstrap only. So our app is started successfully. Let's now, here I'm going to create a components folder. So components folder, and under the components folder there will be the file form.js, form.ts here. So tsx here, because we are using TypeScript here, so that's why we have to write tsx, as in the app.tsx is there, index.tsx is there. So here I'm going to create a functional component, as this is a functional component and we are using TypeScript here. So here we also have to define the type of this function component. For the app.tsx we can also define, but we are going to work in the form.tsx very much. So that's why in the sub components we are going to define this. So this type will be as functional component. So functional, spelling is wrong. Function component, and this function component we are going to import from the React here. Functional component here, and this function component this is function component is here, and I am doing importing it as fc here, so that's why I am using fc. And by default here there are two things here. So here we have to pass the props here, and as we are not passing the props till now, so that's why I'm making it empty here. So here we define the types of the props. So types of the props that we are going to pass. So till now I'm going to remove this. So whenever we are going to use the props here, so for the props we also have to make the interface, so that we can define the types of the props, what type of elements can be there, what type of props can be there in the form here. So for that we also have to create the interface. So that we will do further. First of all, let's we have defined this form, and this is a function component, and this function component type we have imported from the React as fc here, and that we are using it in this. So now let's go further, and here first of all in the app.tsx I'm going to make it as container here, and this will be the container, and after that we need row here. So I'm creating one row, and then here I'm going to write our form component here. So this one form, and from where it is imported, so I'm going to import form. So let's import form from components, and in the components folder there is a form here. And now I will not save it. Here we have to define one class name, and that is our one column will be there, and this column will be 6, or we can define it as 8 here. And we need mx auto also, and margin top to bottom will be 5. And here I'm going to define one form here, and this form, and here I'm going to define group here, and form group will be there, and its display will be flex. And then here I'm going to define one input, and its type will be text here, and its placeholder will be add to do, because we are going to add to do in this. And then we also need class name, and its class name should be form control. Now we need one button also, but its type will be submit, as by default, as we have mentioned the form here, so it's buttons by default. If we will not mention the type here, so by default type will be submit only because we have mentioned the form here. And then its class name will be btn and btn primary, and here we are going to write add here only. And then here in the form group I'm going to write rounded 0 so that we will not get any rounded corners here, and same thing we are going to apply to the input, and then same thing we are going to apply to the button here. Now I'm going to save it here, and here we also have to mention one h1 tag here, and its class name will be text center and margin y to 2, and here we will write React TypeScript Todo. Now save this successfully, and if we will go here, we should get our form as well as this one. See that we are getting our form here, but this form is so much large. So for that I'm going here again, and here it will be called MD6, and see that when we will focus on here, our box shadow is coming, so we have to remove the box shadow. So that's why I'm applying style here. Here we will write box shadow to none. Save it, and now we should not get any box shadow here. See that now it is looking very perfect. Now let's move further and add the state here. So we also have to mention the types of the state, and let's see how we can mention the types in the state, as well as we have to add handle submit here, and for the event that we will pass in the handle submit, and for that we also have to mention the type here, and that type will be of the form event only. Let's see how we can do that, and then we will apply the validations. So now first of all, let's define the state for our input here. So here I'm going to define one state, and that state will be const, and it will be like to do, and we are going to set our to do here, and it will be the use state. We are going to use use state hook here. So as we have two methods to create a component, first is class component, and then there is a functional component. So here now we are using the hooks here to create a state here, but we can define the state without hooks also. But now as we are using functional component, so we can create state with the help of hooks, and it is very easy for us. So now let's see how we can add the type here in the state here. So let's see here. So here first of all I'm going to mention like this. This is like a type of generic here. So here we can, under this we can mention a type here. So here that type will be the string, as we are going to mention the string here. So that's why here type will be the string, because our text type is equals to text is there, so it will return us a value in the string. So that's why I'm defining the value as a string here. So here we are going to write value as to do, and then we are going to write on change it will be e, and set target to and it will be set to do to e dot target dot value here, and this value will be in the string here. Now see that here we are getting one warning here. So type string is not assignable to type string number, and like this. So if we will mention this type string here, so now if we will save it, so we should not get any errors, and see that as see that when I am going to apply this capital S here, so here we are getting error. See that type string is not assignable to type string, so that's why we have to mention this type here. So it is small string type like this, and now save it. So we should not get any errors here. Let's reload it. Now see that we are not getting any errors here, and when we will inspect the elements, and let's here, actually it is not coming. Let's go to the components and let's go to the form and see that we are getting our state field here. Let's close this. Now here in the app.tsx, first of all I'm going to create a new state here. So before creating this state, let's go here and apply the validations. So let's first of all we will apply the validations here, and here I'm going to create on submit. On submit there will be the handle submit, and here we have to define the handle submit here. So const handle submit, and here is one event here, e.target dot e.prevent default, sorry. We can do like this also, but see that here we are getting one warning here as we are using TypeScript, so that's why it is important to mention the type here. Here parameter e is implicitly has any type, as you can mention the type here any, so error will be removed here. But here since it is a form event, so that's why we have to mention the form event here. So I'm going to write here form event. So this is a form event here, and this form event is imported from the React, as we have used TypeScript here, so types will be imported automatically when we will create the app here. And then it is also of the generics, then we have to mention which type of this form event is. So let's mention that, and this form event is of HTML form element. So this HTML form element is an interface, so I don't know from where it is important. HTML, this is an interface here. So when we will save it, and now let's see here, I think it is compiled successfully. It is compiled successfully. Now whenever we click here on the add here, see that our page is not getting refreshed. So this means that our type is applied successfully here. So once again I am telling you that, so this is a type here. So if I will remove this, so it will give us an error here, because we have installed the TypeScript here, we are using the TypeScript, so it is mandatory that we have to add the type here, and its implicitly type is any. But here we can also define the type as any here, but as it is a form event and we have to specify the type here, so that's why we have to mention this form event, as we are running this function on the on submit function here. So if it will be in the button, so if type on button there will be the on click, so its event will be different here. That we will also see as we are going to go with delete option also. So we are going to delete the to do, and we are going to tick the to do. So for that we also need the click event. So there we will mention, we will see the types here, and see that here it is a form event, so that's why this event will be of form event type, and what type of form event is there, that we have to mention here, and that is HTML form element. So when we are refreshing this, and this is also, and our this one is compiled successfully, and when we will click on add, see that our page is not refreshing. This means that our that code is working perfectly. Now let's go further and apply the validations. So let's apply the validations here. So only one type of validation we want. First is if there is not to do, then just we are going to return, and here just we are going to add window.alert. Please add the field. Save it. Now let's see here. So whenever we click on add, so we should get please add the field here. So this means that our validations is added successfully here. So now let's move further and let's start adding the to do here. To add the to do, let's go to the app.tsx. So here we will define one state here where our all to dos will be added here. Now here we have to define the constant, and that is to dos, set to dos, and then use state here, and use state is imported from the React only, and I'm going to do like this. And as we know it is a TypeScript here, so that's why we have to mention the type here. And now what will be the type here now? So first of all, let's see what will be in the our add to dos here. Here will be one array here, and array will consist of objects. So our type should be of same like this. So it will be an interface. So it will be going to be an interface here, and in the interface the properties will be there that we are going to define in this object here, and that interface in the array format will be our argument here. See that in the state here. So let's see here. First of all, what we need, let's add some data here. Here we need first of all like id 1 starting from 1, and then we need a text as to do, or let it be do coding, and then completed we want, and completed will be of boolean, and here by default it is false. And let's copy this object and paste it here, and let's add second item, and here will be do eating, and as let it be completed at true here. But we have to mention a type here, so for that we are going to create the interface here. So for that I am going to create one new folder here, and that will be of interfaces, and here I am going to create one new file, and that file will be to do interface. To do interface.ts. So this will be a TypeScript file, because we are going to define the we are going to only define the interface here. We are not going to write any tsx, any jsx here, so that's why we are not writing tsx here. So here we need, first of all we will export it, export interface, or we can write export default interface, and interface name will be, let it be to do I. So let its donation with the I here, so this I will means this is a to do interface. So I wrote like this here, so that there will be not any confusion in any state or any variable with the interface here. So that's why I have implied I here. So as we have mentioned this type of ID here, so these three things we want. We have to define these three things: ID, text, and completed. So first let it be its ID. So ID will be the number here, because ID will be number only, and then there is text, and here you can either write comma or you can either write semicolon here, and then text will be of string. So here we will define the string, and here I'm going to write number, and then we want completed key is there, and this will be of boolean. So we have to define the boolean here. Now we are going to use this interface, and here we are going to write to do I here, and it is imported successfully, and see that still we are getting error because this is the array of object here and our interface is still an object. See that what the error we are getting. See, the argument of type id number boolean is not assignable to parameter of type to do I. See that here in the object, here in the whole object, at last this is present here. So this means that with this type, as we have mentioned this type in the to do only, so we have to assign this array also because it is an array of objects. So if we will assign this array type here, so this means that we are having the same type of interface, but it is an array of objects. So that's why we have defined this array like we do in the Angular here. And now this is successfully implied, and we can pass the to-dos to the form here. So as we don't need to-dos, so we will just simply write set to-dos here. Here will be the set to-dos, and to-dos we also need because we have to add the ID also. So here I am going to write to-dos also, and see that here we are getting some errors here. So what type of errors we are getting? Let's hover on it and see that here we are getting type, and this one, this is because dispatching is there, we are using state here. This is not assignable. Why this is not assignable? Because in the form.tsx we haven't mentioned any type for the props here. We have to mention the type of the props, and here we have to write also set to-dos and to-dos here. So see that still we are getting errors here. Still we are getting errors. So for that we have to define the interface. So let's first of all define the interface here. So here I am going to define the interface, and it will be of props here. So for the props, and first thing what we are getting, so we are getting set to-dos here. I'm going to copy this, and what this set to-dos consists of. So set to do is a function here. So set to do is a type of function here. So here I'm going to just write a function, and inside we have to pass the parameter, and what type of parameter we need to pass, we also have to define here. So the parameter we need to do I here. So we will apply like this in here we will write to do, and then to do I of array here, and it will be the void. And this is not imported yet. Let's import this. I don't know why it is not getting imported. Let's import on our round. Import to do I from // interfaces, and this is to do interface. And then there is the to-dos, and to-dos is also of type of to do I of array. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. See that we are getting like this here. And now we have to mention the types of these props to this function component here. So here we are going to apply like this generics, and here we are going to mention the props here. Now we will save this and save this also, and see that we are not getting any error here. So when I will reload this, I think it is compiling here. So actually we are getting error. type this is following the properties of. Let's do one thing. Instead of this passing the set to dos, let's create here one function. So here I'm going to create one function that will be the add to do here. Add to do. Let's create this. And this will take one parameter, and that parameter is of int type, and sorry, not int type, and it will be of to do I type. So that's why here we will mention, like, let's see that to do, and it will be of to do I type, and it will be the arrow function here, and this arrow function will return nothing, so its return type will be void here, because it will not return anything here. So here we will write set to dos to the previous to dos because we are because here this previous state is available, so we are going to use this, and we will iterate through the previous state, and then we will add the new to do, and then we will alert window.alert, it is to do's here, then window.alert to do added successfully. Save it, and now this add to do we are going to pass here. Save this. Still we are going to get error here, so instead of this set to do's we are going to write add to do, and it will be of type only to do I, and here we are going to write add to do here. Save this. Now we should not get any errors here. See that it is compiling here, so it will take a little time. Now see that we are getting compiled successfully. So whenever we reload this, so see that we are not getting any errors. So just the error was in the state here, so that's why instead of that we have passed the, so we have created the one function here, this function, and we know that what type we have to pass. Then we have passed this add to do, and in the form.tsx in the interface we have defined this function, and it will take the parameter of to do with to do I, and it will return nothing here, so that's why we have applied void here. And this we have to pass this functional component, and functional component props types are these, and then we have added these destructured these two props here from the props. Now let's move further, and here we are going to add the to do here. Let's add to do, and this to do we have to mention the to do here, but still we are going to get the error. See that argument type of string is not assignable to do I. See that what is to do I interface, so we have to mention this. So let's create this object first. So here first of all we will create the data here, so data, and then its ID. So first of all we will see what is the to do length. So if todos dot length, so these todos we have also passed here, so if todos dot length is greater than 0, then its ID will be its last todos last element ID. So here we will write todos, then todos dot length -1, and then we will increment the last ID here, so that we can get the new ID after the last ID. If its length is not greater than 0, then simply 1 will be the default ID here to avoid the errors here. So here dot ID we have to get, so then we are going to +1 this, and like this we are getting. To remove this error we can do one thing. So here let's remove the to-dos here, and from here also I am removing the to-dos, and here just we are going to pass the to-do here, as this to-do is in the string, and I am going to copy this all here, cut this, and then let's move to the app.tsx, and from here I am also removing the to-dos here, and here we are going to write this and this to do that we are going to pass, and this will be in the string format. As now this is in the string format, so here we can define the to-dos here, and this I'm going to close for this, and then here this data, it will be of to-do I, and then here we are going to pass this to-dos dot length, and this one we are going to pass as data here. But we are also getting the error here. So see that what we are getting error. So error is plus cannot be applied to the types number and number. Array to-do dot length is a number here. So we cannot apply this. So how we can overcome on this? So let's try here. So it's if length is less than 1, here we will define this as 1, and then we will move like this. So we will try this. So still this is not working here, because we are getting this error of highest index. Now still our problem is not solved that. So now there is a way. So now we have to work with the to-do interface. So we have to change the to-do interface. So here let's apply this to be a number, and then string, and then this boolean. So these are the right types here. Save it. So why I showed these errors? So because these are some silly mistakes that we do. So here it is a number, string and boolean, so it should be a small here, because this is not an interface here, this is a type here. As if we are using this and, so this will represent to another class here. So but we are not going to do that. Now here we are getting error here. What error we are getting? Our above error is solved successfully, but below we are getting the error here. So what is that error? So what is that error? So let's see. So here it is should be of small s string. So now let's type small s, and now our all error should come. And now when we will go to the form.tsx, so here we also have to change the type to string here, small string, as we are passing the string here, and add to do is also taking the type string here. Now save this successfully, and now we should able to add the to do here. So like I'm refreshing it, like let's add to do of test to do. Let's click on add, see that our to do is added successfully, and okay, but it is not getting vanished. So how we should vanish this? So here after this let's set to do to null here. Save this, and here see that in the app, in the state we are getting 3 here and with id 3. Now our motive is to show this list here. So how we can show the lists? Let's move there and show the list. Now I'm going to close this to-do interface and this form.tsx, because we don't need anymore. Now I'm going to create one new file, and that will be the list.tsx. Now let's apply RAFCE. So we should get React component, and as this is a functional component here, so let's import function component as fc from here, and let's apply here fc. And here let's till now, since we are not having any props, let's pass this props as empty here, and here we are going to export default list here, and here we are going to show the list. So here I'm going to apply the list here, list, and here we have to pass one prop and let it be the to-dos here. Todos. As now we have passed the props here, so before saving it we have to create the interface in the list for the props here. So let's create interface props, and what we are passing here, so first of all we are passing the todos here. I'm going to copy this, so todos, and this todos will be of todo I type, but it will be of that array here. So this todo I type is imported successfully, and it will be of array of this interface here, and this todos we are going to extract from the props here. And here, since we have to mention the type of the props, so that's why instead of this empty props destruction format here, we are going to pass the prop interface, so that we should not get any errors and our todos type is mentioned successfully. Now I will write here json.stringify todos here. So actually I will move to one curly brace, and now save it and save the app.tsx also. We should not get any error, and we should get some todos here in the stringify format. See that we are getting the todos in the stringify format. Now we are ready here to show the all todos. So let's go forward and show the all todos here one by one. So here there will be one div, and its class name will be, here is one div with class name call md6 here, and it will be mx auto. And here, and we also need margin y, so margin y will be 5 here. From top and bottom it is 5. Now let's move further. So here we will map all the todos. So todos.map, and then first there will be todo, and then there will be the index here. As this is a function here, so we have to mention the types also, and we have to mention the types of parameters also. So this todo type will be of todo I type, and this index is integer here, so I'm going to write int here, or you can write int integer, or you can write int 32 array. Actually it is not this, it is, so I have to use small here, integer, or you can write int here also. Or you can mention type any if you don't need. Sorry, it will be the number here. So actually I forgot about this type. Number is also there. Then there is void, because it will not return anything. Now here we will create division. Okay, this is not assignable to void, so let it be a functional component. It is not a function component, so let it be any here. So because it can return anything here. So here we have, first of all we have to mention the key here. So I'm going to mention the key, and key will be the index here, and then we need also a class name, and its class name will be deflex. And let's move further, and here we will create h1 with text center, and text center here we need style. So I'm going to style to width of this will be 80%, and its above parent width will be 100%. So I'm going to write w100 here, and we need padding also. So for the h1 I'm going to mention the padding here, and that will be padding by 2 here. And under this h1 we are going to mention our todo.text here. And second thing, we also have to mention here if this to do is completed here. So we also have to add many classes here. So I am going to add one more class here, one more class, and I will write comma here so that we can add more classes here. So here I will write styles. So actually this is not working, so let's remove it. So here I will mention here type like this one, and here we will check if this todo dot completed, if todo is completed here, so I will mention completed, I will write completed here. If not, just I am writing it as null. Now here we have also to mention if todo is completed, todo dot completed, if todo is completed here, then we are going to return button here. Its type will be button and its class name will be btn danger here, and mx will be auto, and here we will write align items center and justify content center here, and then here I'm going to write delete. If this is completed, then I'm going to write delete here. Now here I'm going to create one CSS file here, or we don't have to create the CSS file. So here just I'm going to write this one. Let's go to the app.css, and here I'm going to write h1 dot. If it is completed here, then its cursor, let it be pointer. We don't need pointer events, any pointer events, so pointer events to none here, and text decoration will be line 2. Save it and let's check it little bit. So we are getting like this, we are getting like this here. So we need to remove the display flags. So let's see. So here the row is there, I'm going to write here flags column. Save it. Now see that we are getting this perfectly. So instead of this center, I'm going to write justify content to start here. Save this. Now see that we are getting this very perfectly here. But for this one we have to need the hover effect here. So for that, in the list.tsx here, instead of null I'm going to write not completed. Copy this, save this, and let's go here h1 dot not completed, and first of all we need as cursor pointer here, and then I'm going to copy this again, and here we will write the hover effect here. When we will hover on this, there will be the box shadow here. So what type of box shadow? Let's do that. Box shadow 10 pixel, 0 pixel, 0 pixel and 5 pixel RGBA 0, 0, 0.2 here. Save this and let's see that we are getting like this here. Now we need how to complete the to do here. So when the user will click on this, we should complete the to do. Now we have to complete the to do here. So now we are going to work with app.tsx and list.tsx only. So here first of all I'm going to create one new function here, and that will be complete to do here, and this will return this will add one parameter here, take one parameter, and that parameter will be of type number, and its return type will be void here because it will not return anything. And here it will do simply, it will set our to-dos here, set to-dos, and then previous to-dos. So we have also to mention the types here. We also forgot to mention the previous to-do types in this one, and this here, this type will be of to-do I array here, and it is returning us to-do I array here. It is returning the array here. See that we are iterating over this previous to-dos and then adding data, and it is returning us the whole array. So that's why we have to define the return type here also. And same thing I'm going to do here, and it will be of to-do I array, but its return type will be different here. Sorry, its return type will also be same here because we are going to return the array only. So here I'm going to write to do I array here, and let's first of all we will map the previous to-dos. After mapping the previous to-dos, we are getting the new to-dos here. So we are getting the to-do here, and here we also have to mention the type of to-do, and that to-do type will be of to-do I, and because it is going to be an object here, and then it is returning us. Here we will check if to-do dot id is equals to id here, and now we need here also what it is returning, so it will return us the same object here. It will return us the object here. As now we are getting error here because here we have mentioned the boolean here. So now here we have checked if to-do id is equals to the same id that we have provided here, then what we are going to do. So first of all we are going to assign this object here. So object dot assign, first we need a target. So what is a target here, and then what is a source here. So target is our to-do dot completed, and source is, and here we are going to write it as true here because we have to add the to-do here. Else if this is not equal, then we are just going to return the to-do here, but still we are getting error. Why we are getting error? See that here we have mentioned the type as boolean also. So see that it is written type true to do I is not assignable to type to do I here. So here after assigning the object we also have to return the to do here. So that's why I'm going to write and to do here. So it will return the to do for us. And to clear this we can do one thing here. So here I am going to create one new constant, and that constant will be filtered, or you can say that updated to-dos. Updated to-dos here, and this will be of type to do I here, and as this is a variable here, so we can use this like this here. I'm going to cut this and paste it here. Instead of previous to-dos we can write to-dos here, if to-dos dot map, and this one same thing, and then here we don't need any previous to-dos here, simply we are going to assign updated to-dos here. So now see that our to-do is very good here. Our code is very clean, and here we can write well done here. Now we have to pass this complete to do to the list here. Let's pass this complete to do. Save this. We are going to get the error here because we haven't defined this complete to do in the interface here. So let's add this complete to do, and this is a function here, and it will take one ID of type number, and it is returning nothing, so we will write void here. And let's extract this now from the props, and we can use it here now. So here we will write on click method here. On click, first of all we will check here if todo dot completed, or simply we can write arrow function here. Here I am going to check if todo dot completed. If todo is completed, then we are going to add complete to do, as well as we are not going to add anything, so that's why we are returning null here. So as we are getting error here because an argument for id was not provided, so we have to provide the id of todo here. So I'm going to write todo dot id here. So as see that this todo, and we have defined the todo anywhere, so it's okay here. So see that now we are getting this here. Save this, and now let's move further. So see that when this is completed here, so when I am clicking on this, so nothing is happening here because its pointer events are null here. Now when I click on do coding, let's click on do coding. So let's see what we are getting here. So let's remove this and remove this also. As we know that, see that here as this is completed here, and in the CSS we have provided, here we have provided if todo is completed then write completed, otherwise no, not completed here. In the app.csv we have defined if h1 is completed then pointer events none here. So here the click event will not work. So now when I will click here, see that click event is not working. So when I will click on do coding here, so see that we are getting well done. Let's click on OK, and we are not getting the. So let's see here what's the error we are getting. These are the props, and let's click on app. Now see that it is still false here, above is still false. See that we are getting well done, but it is not getting true. So there is something error in our code. So let's find out that what is error. So we are assigning this object.assign todo.completed as true here, but it is not getting assignable. What's the issue now here? Let's do one more thing here. So here, see that target is boolean and source is true here. So we have to mention the target and source. Let's add here true to todo.completed here. So let's try now here. So whenever we click on this, clicking on well done, but we are not still getting here. So let's change this now. Let's change the scenario now. Let's create a current todo, and this will be of todo I. So this is a current todo here, and we are going to assign, and here from the todos we are going to filter todo here, and this todo will be of todo I, and it will return us the todo I here, and this is going to be the arrow function. And here it is returning us, it is checking if todo.id is equals to todo.id is there, then it is returning us the todo here. Or we are going to write todos dot find here. So now we don't have to mention the type here because it is returning us. Now see that current to do we are getting like this here. So here let's apply null also, so see, so that undefined also, so that we should not get any errors here. So here we can define two types here. So this means that OR operator, it can be to do I or it can be undefined. If this to do those find is null here, so it should get us the error. So actually why we was not getting this? This is because we are not parsing our ID here. So this is a very big method. So with this also this will not work. So here just we have to do parse int here. Save this. Sorry, it will be parse int and it is the ID here. So it is of parameter type string. So we have done this. Let's first of all console.log our current to do. Let's see if we are getting the current to do or not. Click on this, see that we are getting the to do here. Now we can assign here as current to do dot completed equals to true here. So we are getting current to do dot completed equals to true here. So current to do is undefined. Let it be any here. So now we should not get any error. Now we have completed this to do here. Let's remove this, and now we are going to map these to dos, and instead of this, if the ID is same, then just we are going to add the current to do here. Now we should not get any errors. So now click on do coding. Now see that we are getting this worked here. So now we have completed this add to do. Let's move further to delete the to do here. So this is going to be very simple. I'm going to copy this all because we need same thing here. So here I'm going to write delete to do, and here this ID here. So first of all we are going to find this one. So I'm going to remove this because we don't need this. Here instead of todos.map we are going to filter the to do here. So to do I, and it is returning the to do I here, and here if it is matches with this ID, then simply return us the to do here. If it is not equals to I here. and here instead of this return type I'm just writing here any. So we should get this in the return, and then set todos to the updaters todos, and here we will write deleted successfully. Save this, copy this lead to do and paste it here, delete to do, and let's mention in the interface, and it is a function, it will take id as a number and then void, and then let's move further. And here we will define on click. We are going to delete to do, and here we have to mention the to-do.id. So here we also have to expect it. Now save it. Now we should delete the to-dos here. Click this, deleted successfully, to-do is deleted. And now we can add to-do, new to-do. To-do is added successfully, to-do is completed, well done, we can delete it. Now our project is completed successfully, and this is how we can create the app with TypeScript and React. So as we know, there can be many errors, and almost I have showed those errors here, so that we are getting here. So that's why I did this type of mistake, so that you can also get the experience that how to solve these types of errors here. And for today this is enough. If you have any queries, please comment in the comment section. I will definitely respond to that, and the link for code is given in the video description. At last, thanks for watching. If you have any queries, please comment in the comment section. If you like this, please like, subscribe and share my channel. At last, thanks for watching.